In computing, we wanted to find a way to speak to our computers. And we wanted to make our life so simple while using computers. So there was this proposal. Why don't we create a language whereby we can speak to the computer so that it can perform the actions we want it to be? Now, we humans, we communicate ourselves with languages. So let's say English. So you ask one, how are you? I'm fine. What's your name? The person will mention it. But that language, when you tell the computer, it's very too high for the computer to understand. It's called high level language. Now, with this high level language, it was being thought that we should find a way to reduce this high level language down so that a computer can understand. Now, it came down to a low level language where computers can actually accept it. Now, with the low level language, when we give it to the computer has to give it to its unit, central processing unit, to actually execute this language to produce the results we want. Now, with the low level language, it went down again to the machine level language, whereby all the binaries, the zeros and ones, as some of you knows, the zeros and ones, so that the computer can execute what we want to do and perform that specific task we want it to do for us. That's how come we had so many programming languages, so that the computer will understand what we want to tell it to do for us. So programming language is about you speaking to the computer with your high level language. The computer will convert it to its level so that it can understand what you are trying to mean, and from there it will execute an action you want it to do. That's the whole concept about programming or coding. Now, when this fact was established, you see, in our real world or in our real life applications, we have languages. We have different languages. It's applied to the computing. So we all can use the same programming language. At least we should have different languages. So that's why people came out with their own theories. And the time we realized we have a whole lot of computer programming languages. So for example, we have the HTML and CSS. That's basically for the website development. We have the JavaScript. It adds to the website development and creating apps. We have the Python, we have the C++, we have the Ruby on Rails, we have the Fortran, the C#, Java, a whole lot. So computers also have different type of languages. So when you come to normal human life, we have English, French, Spanish, Portuguese. You come to computing, we have HTML and CSS, Python, JavaScript, the same thing. But our language we speak is too high. We can't tell computer how are you, and the computer will respond to give us no. It's too high for it. So it converts it to its level called machine level or machine language, which you know the zeros and the ones. Now, we are not coming to code zeros and ones, but we are coming to code in our language. That's the English language, or in a language where we human can understand, and the computer will convert it to 8 zeros and ones and perform the function we want it to do for us. Please, any questions so far? Right, let's move on. Throughout this training, it's my responsibility to teach you 3 programming languages. By the end of this training, you should be able to code in 3 different programming languages. If it were to be in a normal life, you should know how to speak English, French, then let's say Spanish, and maybe you can add Chinese to it. So we are going to learn 3 different programming languages in this training. At the end of the training, you should be able to take your computer or your phone, code, create an app, create a website for your own self. Thus, if you take this coding class very serious. One thing about coding class is you need constant practice. We don't read coding. Well, after this class, some of you will go and watch the video. You don't just watch them, you practice along. You just watch, or if you just read books, you won't understand anything. You know the theory, but you can't build anything. Just practice from the onset. So my advice to you is daily or every day you set some time for yourself, maybe 30 minutes at your free time. Then within that 30 minutes, you start practicing whole lot coding, going through building some small apps and website for yourself. By the time you realize you've mastered it, and you can do a whole lot with that knowledge. Right. Any questions before we begin?
Let me raise my hand.
Yes, Mary, please speak.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Mary.
Sir, please, I wanted to ask, since the coding is more of practicing all the time, it's just the smartphone I have. I don't have a laptop yet, so is it going to be a feasible idea or?
Yes, in coding, it's so flexible. We have apps for phones and laptops. So irrespective of the device you have, you can code wherever you are, right?
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you are welcome. You can build the same website your colleagues with phones, with laptops are doing. You can do the same thing with your phone. So don't worry.
Jennifer, did you hear?
Hello, sir.
Matthew, speak. I'm listening.
Okay, so for this particular course, we will be using the 3 languages that are here on the screen and delve deeper into them.
Okay. Now, I'm now coming to start with it so you understand and I get your question. Ladies and gentlemen, we are starting. Now, I said we will learn 3 languages. We will learn HTML and CSS. We are going to learn Python. Then we will learn C++. Now, with the HTML and CSS, we will add JavaScript. So with these 3 languages you are seeing is classified as 1. So there is a first section in our coding class training. I've grouped it into 3 sessions. We are first covering the first session. The first session is the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript as 1. So though they are 3 different languages, but we are combining them. These 3, we combine them to create websites. So I've combined these 3 to be 1. And after that, we also do Python. And after Python, we will do C++. So 3 different languages, but in the first one is 3 in 1. Please, do you get it?
Yes, yes, sir, I get it.
Okay, so you can say in total we are doing about 5 different languages, because I can't teach you only HTML without CSS and JavaScript. You can't build a website. You can't build the website you want to. These 3 goes hand in hand, and they are not difficult. Okay. HTML. What's an HTML? I know most of you have heard about HTML. You've heard about websites. At least everyone here have visited a particular website before. Right. Though not all websites are built with HTML, but most of them are built with this hypertext markup language. Now, HTML, in fact, it is a web language. A language you tell a browser. We speak to, in HTML, you are speaking to a browser to bring out a design that's website. So in HTML, we have structures for it. And in HTML, you talk to it using high-level languages. So in HTML, you are not going to type zeros and ones. You realize what you are typing is actually in English, but it follows a certain pattern. What about CSS? It's called the cascading style sheet. When you build a website, when you want to build a website, you first build a skeleton. So like you are creating a human being. You first build a skeleton. Now after the skeleton, you attach body. So our body here is the CSS. So we'll be attaching the body to the skeleton. Now, after attaching the body to the skeleton, the statue or the structure we build, we want it to perform action, to move. Then we will add the JavaScript. So we want it to be able to move the hand, to move the leg, to be able to talk. We add JavaScript. So the HTML, we set up the skeleton of the website. So how we are going to, how our website is going to come out or to show in the browser. The CSS, we add some colors, all those unique styling to make it live or pleasing to the eyes. Then with the JavaScript, we add a bit of life to the website. That's the whole concept about these 3 programming languages. Please, any question? Right. Now we will, yes.
Sir, please, can you elaborate a bit on the JavaScript?
Okay. On the JavaScript, sometimes you visit, take note, sometimes you visit a website, you click on something and it's actually, okay, I will give you an example of a website, then you visit. So when you visit, you are going to study how the website is. Now, next meeting, you actually understand it before we even tackle JavaScript. So I'll give you a website for you to go and examine the website for yourself. Go through the website, feel how it's like. Then on our next meeting, I'll talk about it with the JavaScript. Today, we are starting with the HTML. Okay. If those using the laptops, right. Please open those who have downloaded a text editor. A text editor called Sublime. Those using phones, when you go to the Play Store or App Store, you search for HTML editor. HTML editor. We have a whole lot of apps there. You can download any one of them. But those using laptops and desktop or computers, you download a text editor called Sublime. 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 Sublime text editor. Today is just introduction, so I'll just do something small. Today is one on our next meeting, that's Monday, we will start more, or we will do more. So if you don't have the text editor now, don't worry, you can watch it as we go through, and on Monday you can practice along.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, please, how about those of us that have the VS Code?
Yes, so if you have the VS Code, it's also where you can use it. It's very simple. You can also use the VS Code.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay, please don't be scared. What you are saying, don't be scared. It's not for you. I know some of you will be scared. Don't be scared. Okay, we've opened. There's a Sublime text editor, so you can see from the top. Sublime text editor. Now in HTML, we follow a certain pattern. In fact, if you don't follow that pattern, there is no way you can code in HTML, such as it applies to every language, normal life. When you are speaking the English language, there are some rules, or there are some things, the subject, verb, agreements, and all those stuffs, the noun, the adjectives. Yes, it's the same thing that applies to coding. So you have to know the rules and you follow them. You will be able to code perfectly. Now in HTML, the rule we use here is called tags. TAS, tags or tag. In every line of code you will write, there is going to be something called tag. Don't forget it. It is the backbone of HTML. Tag, T-A-G. Please, you can also make your own small notes so that you don't forget some key points. You can jot down some things. In HTML, there is one rule. Every line of code you write, there is a tag attached to it. Now, in HTML2, when you are starting to build a website, basically, the skeleton follows a pattern. You first lay down a skeleton. Right. Before I start, there is something. So you code the HTML language you are coming to write. So in my first tag, HTML, and I close the tag. Then another tag /HTML, then I close it. So these two, this is called an open tag, this is called a closed tag. The difference between this is the backslash here. With the second tag, there is a backslash, but it's the same things in the same content in them. HTML. This one is called an open tag, and this one is called a closed tag. The difference is we have a backslash in the closed tag. That makes it a closed tag. Without it, without this tag, they are all open tags, and the code is not going to run. Okay, please, any question with this? Claudia, do you have something to say?
Yeah, please can you come again with the tag?
Okay. In HTML, the rule we use here is tags, and the tag is that's a greater than sign and then less than sign. So, and in HTML, for you to start a website development or something, there is a specific pattern you have to follow. You first quote the HTML. This is called an open tag. Then another HTML. Another, so you are seeing two tags of the same thing. Now, I will put a backslash at the second tag, meaning the second tag is called a closed tag. I've closed the tag. So the first one is called open tag. The second one is called a closed tag. The difference is there is a backslash with the second tag. Are you okay?
Sir,
Yes.
so with the backslash with the other tag, what's the essence of it? Does it run a different thing or they still work the same way?
Okay. Very good. Now, the difference between these two is, remember I told you in HTML, you have to lay down skeleton. So in HTML, you open tag, and inside the tag, you are going to write your things. So we have open tags. Inside here is where we are going to code everything. That's the rule for HTML. Please, do you understand it? So every tag you open, you close it. You get it?
Sir, please come again. I'm not getting it.
Okay, this is what I mean. In HTML, the rule is we use tags in coding. Like we use tags for this particular programming language. Now, every tag you open, the first tag is open tag, you bring the same thing but with a backslash to it, calling it a closed tag. The reason being that in HTML, there is a rule that whatever you are going to code is being enclosed in a tag. So between these two is where we are going to code everything. So when I open a tag, I should close it. This is a basic rule you should know automatically with HTML. Please, do you understand it?
Okay, sir. So you mean the backslash is for the
Yes.
end of the code, like a full
Yes.
stop?
Yes. Do you get it? You're welcome. So when I open this tag, I can open it as long as I want, because between these, I'm coming to do my coding. So this is the first step you have to know. Now,
Sir,
yes, Claudia.
so can you run without the end slash, like the
No,
you
please.
can't run
You
without
can't.
it?
Yes,
Okay.
it will tell you there's an error, or it won't even show.
Thank
Do you
you.
get it? You're welcome. Okay, so it's just like you speaking English and mixing it with French. No one will understand it.
There.
Yes. Nah.
So what I'm trying to say is that in coding, you must have an open tag and a closed tag. So whenever you start, you have to open a tag, and then when you have to also close it too, like when you are done. Because if you don't close it, whatever you input is going to be kind of invalid.
Perfect.
Okay.
Sure.
And then is the backslash what is used to actually indicate that it's a closed tag? Is it only the backslash that always indicates that it's a closed tag? Or if you want to close a tag, you always use backslash?
The backslash is what differentiates between these two. So if I delete this backslash, I have two open tags, meaning this is incomplete. So the backslash means it is the twin key. So every tag is twin. Every tag is a twin. So we have every tag, we have an open tag and a closed tag. So take it from that. Every tag is a twin. A twin. So a twin, an elderly, then a young. But with a young, you have a slash. It's a must. Every tag is a twin. Comes with an open and a closed tag. Are you okay? And we are going to learn a lot of tags. Take notes. I will send you a tag sheet in your Slack DM for you to go through. We are going to learn a lot of tags. Now, so let's do a simple website here. Those having the text editor, you can also practice along. So HTML, my close and open tag. Then I come, head, close tag, head. Note that I said in HTML, it follows a structure. So let's say we are creating a human being. So we've created a skeleton. Now we are adding a head to the human being. So a head. This is where I'm going to put my title of the website. So I'll come title. If I'm moving so fast, you can prompt me. Now, I've laid down my skeleton. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our class will end right now. I will generate a new link. We will join again. Thank you.